Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we're going to have John. John is from Los Angeles in the USA. So let's see what John has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, John. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you. So,
Oh,
tell me, how's your day going so far?
I was just in the middle of doing a rehearsal for an audition. That's why I needed a couple of minutes.
I see. And how was the audition?
It's good. It's actually for vertical film. Vertical films are blowing up like crazy here in Los Angeles.
Wow,
It seems to be the majority of work these days, to be honest with you.
I see. And where are you from, John?
Originally, I'm from New York,
Okay.
but I came to Los Angeles back in 2016 and threw everything to the wind and started to follow my dream. And that's how I ended up getting into the acting world.
And that's the reason why you moved from New York City to Los Angeles.
No, actually, my daughter dragged us here. She had her first grandchild.
Oh, sweet.
So New York to California was quite the distance, and we decided to bite the bullet and move out here.
What's the biggest joy of being a granddad?
Oh my God. You think you love your kids, but until you have grandkids, it's a whole different love. I mean, you relive the whole childhood experience with your own kids, but in a different way, without all the pressures, and it's fun.
And so far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from your grandchildren?
Unconditional love. I mean, those kids. Uh, I mean, we see them just about every day. In fact, we typically try to have dinner together, even because my daughter fortunately lives about a mile up the street from me.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, we were living with her when we first moved here. She had a very small two-bedroom house they were living in. The baby came. We were staying with them until we could find a house. We found our house, and then I convinced them to not rent and to look at this house that was right up the street. And fortunately, they got it, and now they've got two kids.
Oh, sweet. Very sweet. Right,
Yeah.
so let's start the interview talking about your career as an actor. So tell me how the opportunity came along.
Well, ironically, it's haunted me for many years because I was here in Los Angeles on vacation. I took my son. At that time, he was 3 years old. We brought him to Disney, Universal Studios, and this was before the internet. So, coming out of Universal Studios, I was stopped by a scout. He asked me if I'd be interested in going for a screen test. They were starting a new comedy pilot called My Two Dads. Didn't know anything about the show. Um, and mind you, my daughter, we had left. She was only 6 months old. She was in Arizona with family. So the next morning, we were flying out at 7 a.m. to fly back to Arizona, pick up my daughter, take the red eye back to New York, because at that time I worked for Eastman Kodak and I had to be back to work the next day. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, what does this all mean? How long do I got to be there? What time? And basically, all he could tell me was I had to be at the studio at 7:30 a.m. And he couldn't promise a time slot or anything. He says, really depends on how well things go. And, I can't promise you anything. So, with all that, I had to change flights, hotel, work, conflict. I said, you know what? Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it, but I'm going to pass.
Ooh,
And that show went on for 6 seasons. Now, I don't know if I would have got the part, but I looked very similar to the person that was cast. And it went on for 6 seasons. And it's always haunted me in the back of my mind. What if?
right.
So when I moved here to California, my son in law produces a morning show here. It's for KLOS. And he suggested, because at that time I spent close to 25 years in sales and marketing, had a very successful career, but threw it all to the wind. And he said, why don't you go down to central casting? He said, you'll meet people, you'll have fun, you'll get on sets. So, kind of poo pooed it. But then after a couple of weeks, I decided, let me go down and see what this is all about. So I did. I went for the interview. I'm driving back from Burbank to Santa Clarita, where I live, and my phone's dinging, ding, ding. Are you available? boom, boom. Are you available? I must have had 6 availability requests in that 35-minute drive back to home.
Oh my
And
God.
then it went bonkers. I was on just about every show you can imagine, from The Rookie to NCIS to the Connors, um, the Goldbergs, Night Court. It's been a whirlwind. I did the whole first season of The Lincoln Lawyer, which was tremendous. Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton. I mean, it's been a dream come true. And unfortunately, the pandemic hit, strike hit, and things have never been the same. It's been
Right.
really difficult.
I see. I love your story. My God, I love that what if, that happened to you. But I think even maybe it meant to happen this way because maybe it wouldn't happen at the time. Maybe you didn't enjoy the way you are enjoying right now, or maybe when you started back again. So I get your point. But that's gonna be always in our minds. I get it.
Sure. Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing, John.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the interview, I always ask my guests on the show to bring something that means a lot to them. So that could be a gift, a picture, an object. Is there anything you could share with us?
I do actually. It's something very near and dear to me. This is a picture when I was born. That's my mother holding me. It was a very special time because I was the first baby born for New Year's.
Wow.
And back in those days, where I was from upstate New York, it was a rivalry between the hospitals. Who was going to have the first baby? And this hospital, St. Mary's, had never had a New Year's baby in 11 years. So, being the first, I was on the front page of the paper. It was a big celebration for the hospital.
Wow.
Unfortunately, my dad wasn't too happy because for 23 minutes, he lost the tax deduction. But little did he know, he actually hit the lottery because in those days, they didn't have the HMOs and the healthcare plans that we have today.
Oh my.
So, and my mom was in the hospital for 7 days. Back then, they kept you in the hospital a lot longer. Today, you have a baby, boom, the next day, they're sending you home.
Yeah.
Well, she had 5 more kids at home. And back then, they kept you longer because they wanted to make sure you had proper rest and care before you went home. So, 7 days in the hospital. He went to pay the hospital bill at the bursar's office, and they said, the bill's been paid. UnityChest paid the bill for you.
Wow.
Wow. Then it all came down. Then all of the stores started. She got diaper service, baby crib, bassinet, high chair. All these gifts started coming because it was a big celebration for them to have the first New Year's baby.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah,
Oh, wow. So you're born on the 1st of January?
correct.
Wow.
But I wanted to continue what the significance of this picture means because this picture, when I'm having a bad day, I go to this because this woman was one of a kind. After I was born, 6 months later, my dad passed away from a cerebral hemorrhage. And she had 6 kids on her own. And I think back of all of the challenges that she went through in life, from coming here as a young child, immigrating from Italy, 12 years old, didn't speak the language, tried to integrate and assimilate in school, but very difficult, especially in those days. They didn't really have the attention for any type of foreign exchange. And was kind of forced to quit school and work because that was during the Great Depression. And so the family needed everybody to provide, to help, to sustain and keep going. So she made a lot of sacrifices. Eventually, she got married, had a large family, and went through the trials and loss of her husband and raising 6 kids. She never remarried. She was remarkable. Home cooked meals every day, making lunches for us to go to school, clean clothes all night, a garden that you couldn't imagine. She grew everything from tomatoes, squash, cucumbers, peppers, zucchini, everything was in her, immaculate. What a green thumb she had. And
Wow.
think back of how she did this. I mean, she had all of the love, caring, nurturing.
and to be alone. It breaks my heart when I think about it. Fortunately, she lived a good life. She, at about 83, she started having little mini strokes. So my siblings, we felt it wasn't safe for her to drive anymore and to live in that house, a two-story house. We felt it was better to put her in an apartment so she could be more independent, but still safer. And I remember taking her, she was showing me what the apartment, where it was, and it was a cute place. And all of a sudden she broke down. She started crying. She said she
Oh,
didn't like it. She didn't want to be here. She was all alone. And I said, well, it doesn't have to be this way. It's, we'll come up with something different. So I got with my siblings and we talked about it. End of story. I ended up putting an in-law apartment on my house. And she was in heaven. I mean, it was just beautiful. One floor, big kitchen, living room, huge bedroom, big bathroom. She was so happy. 6
oh,
later, she had a major stroke and she had paralysis on her right side and aphasia. No, she wasn't able to speak. And it was a major challenge to eventually get her to come back home because they really wanted her to be in assisted living, skilled
mhm.
nursing, and that wasn't where she wanted to be or where we wanted her to be. So we were very fortunate. I had her come home, and my kids were major support to help provide care, my siblings. And we had her for 10 more years. It was a blessing.
Wow,
She was 93 when she passed away.
my
I
God.
miss her every day. I think about her every day. And when I'm having a bad day, I go to this picture because it reminds me of anything's possible. She gave us the strength and inspiration to be strong and be successful and never quit.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing, John. I'm sure whatever she is right now, she's smiling from her heart to know that you are sharing this beautiful story right now. Appreciate you to say that. I think remarkable woman for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think women they are so strong that men, we as you said, somehow we go like, my God, how they can do that? How they can, it's incredible to see and to know that. So I appreciate you to share this beautiful story. Thank you. Amazing.
Uh,
Sweet. Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through memories in life and share point of views?
yes, absolutely.
Amazing. Welcome to William in the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Full of random questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just gonna play a song just for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right.
Right, before I start the interview, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you maybe don't want to talk about or you don't want to answer, always can change. Take another one, okay?
Okay.
Amazing. First question is, what is the most difficult thing have you ever done?
Oh boy. I think the most difficult thing I ever did was basic training in the Army.
Wow, tell me why.
Because I was always raised independent. I started my first job, I think I was 10 years old. I used to clean a barber shop. And every day after school, I'd walk home, stop at the barber shop, swept the floors, cleaned the bathroom, put fresh towels, filled the shaving cream, emptied the ashtrays, and for $1.25 a week. But that $1.25, I appreciated at the end of the week. And I
Wow,
had Sundays and Wednesdays off because Wednesdays they were closed and Sundays was day of worship, so they weren't open. But that started, and then um, you know, being independent and going into the military, you're on their schedule, and you have to be told what to do. And I don't need to be told what to do. I can follow direction. And I was surprised the amount of people in my company, in my platoon, that they were very childish, didn't have discipline, and so it was difficult because you had to pay the price for their mistakes. And
right.
just the the physical fitness was incredible. It was the best shape I've probably ever been in my life, but it was very challenging, very challenging.
Wow. And the opposite side, what was the most enjoyable part for you to be there?
I really got to see a part of myself that I didn't know existed, that I could persevere in difficult challenges. And, they were giving us training for life training. I mean, it's if ever, to be fortunately, I never had to see war, but it's a matter of life and death, and you had to take
Wow.
it serious. And so it was a good benefit to see that I could adjust to that and take that point where you needed to follow direction to have a cohesive unit.
And what's the meaning of life for you when you think about life?
It's so short. The older you get, you realize how short life really is,
Yeah.
and happiness. And to see, I spent as much time as I could with my grandchildren because, admittedly, I made a lot of sacrifices with my own kids because in the work that I did, I traveled a lot. So I was living on a plane and gone for days and come home and back home a few days and then gone again. So it was difficult, but I was always there whenever I could be for other, sporting events or dancing events, anything that was important. I tried to always be there and make sure that I didn't miss that.
Wow.
And they recognize that. They appreciate that, and I have a very close relationship with both my kids.
Okay, so both of them, they're watching this interview right now and you have a moment, an opportunity to send them a message. What would you say? They're watching.
That I'm number one, I'm very proud of them. Their accomplishments, they are fighters, survivors. Hopefully, I've instilled some of that in them, and I love them to the end of all time.
Oh, sweet. Very sweet. Love it. Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Hey, John from Los Angeles. Okay, next question is, what is the most beautiful thing someone has ever said to you?
Mm, wow, that's a tough one. I think, I can go back to when my mother, after her stroke and coming home, and even though her speech was very challenged, she would tell me, I love you. And it was very strained, but she knew that, I was doing everything I could, and it was difficult. I won't deny that. It was very difficult when you think about having to do all of her medications that she was on and making sure that they were all organized and her food menus and even toileting her. That's a major thing that you never think that you're going to ever have to experience. But she just appreciated, and the feeling that she gave me, that connection, she could just bring tears to my eyes because it was so overwhelming.
Wow. What's the biggest joy of being John? What do you like the most about being you?
That, I can get along with anybody.
Mhm.
Love life. I like to help people when I can and pay it forward. I think it's so important because I think it comes back to you tenfold,
Yeah. Wow. Thank
especially
you.
in this industry. Networking is so critical.
Right.
And when I see an opportunity that might be right for somebody, I'll send it, hey, you need to contact this casting director, or here's an opportunity. Did you see this? Um,
Right.
it's not for me, but hopefully it is for you. And, I think, again, being that way hopefully comes back to you tenfold.
I see. Yeah, I think the movie industry, it's about networking, it's about supporting others, it's about connecting, it's about, you know, maybe if you receive opportunity for a role and if you think it's not for you, but you can pass to another one, you know what I mean? The vice versa. I think it's all about helping others as well, because it's all navigating the same boat, how hard it is, how hard it can be, and it's just supporting each other for sure.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, so before the next question, what's the biggest joy of being an actor and being part of the movie industry?
Yeah, wow, growing up watching movies on TV, you would just be magnetized to the TV, and just today to actually be there with some of these amazing actors, um, Patrick Duffy, Joe Montana, Billy Bob Thornton. These are icons, and to be standing in the same room with them and interacting with them, creating magic, because that to me is the most fun. It's like magic. You do so much in a particular scene with all the setups, the lighting, the rehearsals, and that could take hours to only maybe give you 90 seconds of actual film time. And
Yeah.
it's just, it blows my mind. And now I've done I did a commercial with the Kardashians. The Kardashians here, they're all over. I mean, they're incredible what they've done, and the empire that they've built is really crazy.
Bigger than the Kennedys, bigger than the Kennedys, I heard.
It's
Yeah.
crazy when you think about it. I did a commercial with both Kim and Courtney. It was amazing. Um, I also have a side hustle, and I'm a casino dealer. So I work for multiple casino event companies throughout Southern California, and they
Wow.
host charity events. And one particular event, again, I didn't know what the venue was going to be. They just told me it was going to be in Hollywood at the Chateau Marmont. And I showed up and I see this big soiree. Cartier Jewelry is throwing for Timothy Chalamet for his nomination in the role for Bob Dylan. And I ended up having him at my poker table at one end, and I had Kylie Jenner at the other end, who they're dating on again, off again. And they were going at it all night. It was such magical, was so much fun. And
Wow.
at the end of the night, she came up and she hugged me. She's so personable. Said thank you, because I was trying to help her. She was new at poker. She wasn't really. Um, Timothy Chalamet was having more fun, I think, with her, but just incredible. And so when you think about all of this, these people that I've been exposed to, and doing feature film stand-in for um, oh geez, Andy Garcia. To do a stand-in role for him in Photo Double was remarkable with the beard. I spent more time in hair and makeup than I actually did on set. Um, and just had a feature film come out that we did 2 years ago. It's called Surrender, and it just launched yesterday on Apple TV and Amazon. And I play a casino dealer, Carmine, a blackjack
Wow.
dealer. It's a very good drama story. It's actually a true story that I didn't know, that the writer director was actually about her life.
Wow.
And I only found that out at the Asian Film Festival premiere here in LA, when they did a question and answer panel. And she, the question came up, how did you get inspired for this? And she opened up and said, this was what I went through in life. And
Wow.
very, very awakening, and to see where she's come from that, which was beautiful, just beautiful. But again, to get back to it, it's so exciting to be on set with these. It's like magic. Some days you have to pinch yourself and say, is this really happening?
Wow.
It's remarkable.
Amazing. Next question is, how do you manage self-doubt?
Um, well, self-doubt, sometimes I come back to this,
Good one.
because she always said you can do anything you put your mind to.
100%.
You're the only person that can hold you back. And we all have those moments,
100%.
just for example, if you think about the percentages in auditions, it's less than 2%. It's about 1.7% of auditions that actually get you bookings. So for every 100, you're only getting less than two. It's remarkable. But there's some key icons out there, actors that have said, don't look at it as an audition, as a task. Look at it as work. Okay, because you are working. You've been asked
Yes.
by the casting, by the director to actually submit your self-tape for that role. And
Yeah.
so you are working. Maybe, there was something in the look, there was a conflict with matching up to maybe a sibling or something, so you don't know what all the variables are. And, you just keep moving on. But it is hard at times, the amount of work that goes into doing an audition, the rehearsal, the memorization, getting into character. It's very consuming. Taping it, editing it, uploading it, submitting it. It's a lot of work, but I enjoy it.
That's the good part. We enjoy the end of the day, you know? Three questions left. Let's do it.
Okay.
Hey, John, next question is, good question. Which movie had a big influence on you?
I would say The Godfather,
Wow.
because it's about heritage, being Italian, and relating to some of the comical parts of it, as well as some of the very serious parts of how life really was, and why that the mafia kind of got created, if you will, and to see some of those similarities through our heritage. It's touching. You feel connected to it. And I remember I must have been about 10 years old seeing it in the theater, and scared the hell out of me.
Wow.
But it left an impression, and the later in life recognizing I would love to be part of that. And so
Wow.
hopefully I'll have those opportunities. I have auditioned for some of those roles. Haven't quite captured the one I want yet, but hopefully that'll come.
Tell me what would be the title of your memoir one day.
Mm,
With your best Italian accent. I'm joking.
I would say The Man Who Never Said No.
Great one. Wow. And when people read your memoir, what's something that you like people to take with them?
That I was very family oriented,
Mhm.
very caring, kind, considerate, giving, always giving. I think that's just part of our nature, being a Capricorn. Uh,
Wow.
that's we're very, loving, caring. But I think a lot of that got instilled again from my mother, because that's the family unit was everything. Every holiday, you went to church, every Sunday. Come hell or high water, you were going to church.
Wow. Good one. Amazing. Two questions left. Let's do it. Before the next question, let's do a little game. Let's pretend that you're going to put together a play or a short movie or a scene. You're going to be on it as well, okay? And you can cast anyone to play your brother on this project. Also, you can cast any other to play your sister. And at the same time, you can cast anyone to play your best friends on this project. So tell me those three names.
I would pick Sylvester Stallone to be my brother.
Wow. You have something actually. You've got some look or something versatile on. There is something that I can see.
I did submit to be his stand-in for his new show, Tulsa King. But unfortunately, I didn't get it. But
You're too Italian for it. You're too
yeah,
Italian.
I would pick him as my brother. I would pick Joe Mantegna as my best friend,
Okay.
because I did a pilot with him. And, usually the principal actors, they usually run back to their trailers when we break on set. But this day for lunch, he came out and he sat with the community. And he
Wow.
walked up to my table and said, "Is anybody sitting here?" And I said, "Yeah, it's got your name on it, Joe." And he sat down, just a normal, shot the breeze with us, how things going, this and that. I mean, just wonderful, personable, down to earth, remarkable. Love him, as well as his acting. And for my sister, Um, I think I would pick Patricia Heaton.
Wow.
I think she's a superb and gifted actor. Obviously, she had a long run with Everybody Loves Raymond,
Uh-huh.
and I did a couple of episodes of a new show that she had, and I'm just trying to think of the show because it's beyond me. It was about a hospital nursing. She was like a young intern doctor. Um, I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. These just become a blur. I mean, I try to chronicleize them in a spreadsheet, but after a while they just start to blur and so many. But she was wonderful to work with, and I think she would be great as being a sister.
Okay, so now the second part of the question is going to be more difficult. It's going to be a bit tougher now.
Okay.
One day, you're going to wake up in the morning having three missed calls on your phone from those three names you just mentioned right now. Which one you're going to call back straight away? Which one you're going to send a message? I'll call you back later. And the third one, you don't call back, you don't send a message, just ignore them for now. I know it's a mean question.
Wow.
And by the way, there watched three of them that watched this interview, just to let you know, okay?
I think I would call back Sylvester Stallone first, and only because I have this admiration from him, and I can't wait for his new movie that's coming out on basically like his biography. I mean, for what he went through to be where he is today is really remarkable.
Wow.
He had everything against him, and he's really done a great job. I would text Patricia Heaton right away and say that I'll call you back. And as much as I love Joe Montana, he would be the one I think I would ignore because I think he would understand.
100%.
Yeah.
You already sat down at the table with him, you already made friends, you know what I mean? He became your mate, so it's
We
fine.
Yeah, we sat there, we broke bread.
I love it. Okay, next question is, what's the funniest gift have you ever received?
I guess my Dirty 30 party. I didn't expect it was a surprise.
Wow.
And so many friends and family were there. It was at this lodge that we were supposed to be going to somebody else's party, and it
Okay.
being a Dirty 30 party for me. And I'm sure I don't remember, but I know I got some very unique prank gifts for that party. Um, and I got a big poster that my sister had made of me with my uh, f- one of my favorite uncle. He was like a grandfather to me, and she
Wow.
that picture was must have been a birthday party of mine because I had a birthday hat on and I was sitting behind him, hugging him in the chair from where the chair
Wow.
was sitting. But yeah, I would say that was probably the most happiest and biggest surprise, my Dirty 30 party.
Wow. Love it. When you say 30-30 party, what that means?
It's like, yeah, when you're 30 years old, it's like, you throw it all to the wind.
Oh, see, I get it. I see. All right. Last question, ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Last question. Before the last question, John, tell me what the movie industry have taught you so far.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. So far, before the last question, tell me something that the movie industry has taught you so far. Being involved in the movie industry, what's something that you've learned?
I've learned that you're only as good as you are for that moment.
Mhm.
And it's about the industry is about making money, like all businesses. Okay.
Yeah.
If there's an opportunity that you're going to benefit to help somebody else make money, you're certainly in the game. But if you don't have anything to offer for that, unfortunately, you're not participating. But all in all, I would say the industry has really taught me that don't wait for it to come to you. you go and get it, because the pandemic, the strike has really shown that that's very true. And there's a handful of us that we've collaborated, and we started making our own films. Instead of not finding the work that we want to be cast for, we decided, they got together, we filmed it, wrote it, edited it, and published it, entered it in film festivals. And it's an incredible feeling to see that come to fruition. So if you want to make it happen, you just got to go and do it.
Wow, great one. Okay, last question is, what's the biggest prize you ever won?
The biggest prize I ever won, I would have to say it was a trip to the Marlboro Ranch.
Wow.
So they have a contest, or they had a contest. They have a ranch in Bozeman, Montana. It's to die for. Most people would never even know it existed unless you've been invited. But it's in the most desolate, beautiful part of the land. And they paid all the expenses, flew you there, you got there, they wined and dined you, all kinds of activities. We went dog sledding, zip lining, snowmobiling, horseback riding. They had it all. And the food, they had 5-star Michelin chef, was incredible. And we stayed in an old Western town that they have as the Marlboro Ranch, with the saloon, the barber shop, the sheriff, the jail. And we stayed above the jail, was our room. And me and my son went together. It was a great time that we got to bond and spend time together. But
Wow.
was remarkable until the tax form showed up at the end of the year, because that was like a cash prize. Was all added up, all the trip, the expenses, and
Wow.
tax form. Uncle Sam wanted it.
Amazing. Right, so then yet, let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to say some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay? One word for money.
Money, necessity,
Fear.
death,
Family.
love,
Life.
beautiful,
Love.
gift,
Religion.
essential.
Sex.
I would say beneficial,
Politics.
ugly,
Friendship.
critical,
Desire.
essential,
Regret.
painful,
Success.
winning,
Wish.
happiness,
And one word for happiness.
the best,
One word for New York City.
fun,
One word for Los Angeles.
crazy,
One word for USA.
beautiful,
And the last one now, acting, one word.
magical,
Actually, another one word for the movie industry.
exceptional.
Wow. I like the way you said, very exceptional. You felt it. I love it.
Yeah. It's I was thinking of the studios and walking in to the different sound stages.
Yeah.
And you get goosebumps, because
Can you imagine? Wow.
a lot of those stages have the previous actors in the films that were made there, like the Ten Commandments, and just any movie that you find near and dear to your heart, and you find yourself going back and saying, "Wow, I'm walking those same footsteps with those iconic actors that you would never meet or have the chance."
Amazing. Just pretend now, John, so I believe you have a wife right now, yeah? You're married, you have a wife.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's pretend I'm going to meet your wife for a coffee and I'm going to ask her, define John in one positive and one negative word only. What she would say about you?
Positive, she would say smart, and negative, she'd probably say stubborn.
She knows you very well, for sure. She knows what she's talking about. Let's play now, John, in the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, John, but before you ask me the question, since the beginning of the interview, we start the interview and you talked so dearly and beautiful about your mom. And for the interview, mention her again. My question for you is, do you think one day you're going to meet her again?
Absolutely.
Wow.
The only happiness of her leaving us is that I know she's back with my father.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Wow. Okay, John, can I ask me a question now?
All right. So my question is, with today's direction, with the advent of AI advancement, what is your opinion on how this will affect actors moving forward?
What a great question. What a great question. I think AI overall, it's something that it's here. You cannot avoid it. You cannot ignore it. You cannot, pretend that, it's not gonna, it's part of our lives. It became, and even more every day. And there is the pros and cons. I think, of course, it helps us a lot with different things, make our lives easier in different ways, depending your what we're working or your path or your profession. I get that. However, I feel that's very scary. I feel very scary that is gonna somehow destroy this magical thing that we mentioned before about movie. I love movies. I go to the cinema every weekend. That's my therapy of the week. And I mean it's my therapy because the only time, and I love to go to the big screen, to the cinema, to sit down and watch a movie. It's my therapy. I love doing that. I love it. Who knows me very well? They go like, William, which one are we gonna move on tonight? They know me very well. It's the only time when I forget about the magic box for a few seconds. So I think, John, based on your question, I think it's scary to know that somehow it's already there. AI is already stepping in the movie industry. I just hope that somehow it's not gonna lose this magical thing that people watch it, make their memories, connect with the big screen or the movie itself. I just hope that somehow they manage well or not to be. I'm not against somehow helping, making easier. For example, before the internet came along, all those movies, and now became much easier for them to, since the internet came along, the modernity, all of that. And I think AI now it's at something extra that's, so I'm sure it's helping somehow. But I felt sad the other day when I was watching the news and they showed like a clip of a movie or something that was made just for AI. And I felt so sad, and I could see it was a real. And I felt, oh my God, I just hope it's just experiment or something that's not gonna go forward, because I felt sad when I saw that. I said, no, I don't want to lose. I don't want to break this magical feeling that brings me every weekend to the cinema, knowing that what I'm watching is not a person or it was not, you know what I mean? There's no actors or something behind. So I don't want to go to a movie and feeling that. And I'm sure people in the industry like you and, producers or directors, I'm sure they think the same way as well, because we cannot lose that magical moments that we have with movies, the connection in there. So that's my opinion. I think it's healthy to have the AI. It's not even healthy. It became part of our lives. You cannot run away from it. You need to face it. But let's be manageable. Let's somehow manage it, not to take it over completely. You know what I mean? Just because of budget, money, all of that. I just hope that people, they still have the mentality of keep this magical connection that we have with movies overall, and we're never going to lose that. I think AI, I hope that in the movie industry just came to help make things easier, or you know what I mean, but until a certain time, until a certain point. It doesn't step in, you know what I mean, through the wall and, you know what I mean, somehow interfere. So that's my, it's not even my opinion, it's my wish. You know what I mean?
Right. No,
Yeah.
it's I have obviously the fear of where AI could go. I mean,
Hmm.
I certainly respect it.
Yeah,
Uh, we have to embrace advancements, otherwise we
100%.
become stale. Okay, and as the technology evolves, just handle it carefully.
Yes.
Because unfortunately, I was doing a Netflix production. I'll leave it nameless. But I was booked for 26 days in the first block of filming. There was two blocks. And the day before the writers walked out on strike, they came up and said, "Have you been scanned?" And I said, "What do you mean scanned?" "Oh, you have to go over to the trailer. You have to be scanned." I said, "Well, what if I don't want to be scanned?" They said, "Well, then you have to leave the set." So, again, being SAG as a union member, we had no protection for what they were requiring of us. So, unfortunately, you know, this is coming out of the pandemic. I wanted to work, so I complied and did what they asked me to do.
Right.
Following Monday, I was called and told, your days have been reduced to 6 days. So we don't need you in 26 days. And I said, well, is that because you scanned me and now you
Mm.
don't need me here, which means you won't have to pay me? And they said, no, no, it's a production scheduling issue. Well, I know my role was very critical. There was four of us in this particular production, and the same thing happened, which is very sad. And that's my fear that it's going to take because of the cost and the money. Now, mind you, after that and the strike, the negotiations were very limited on what they negotiated with the producers and the studios. They put a little bit of writing in there that said that if our image is used, that without our permission, that we would still have to be compensated as if we were on set.
Right.
But
It's not about that. It's not
$60
about that.
is who's going to police that? There are so many, once your image is scanned, you don't know, you could be in one scene from a production that you didn't even know about. And unless you knew about it, how would you know? Because the producers aren't going to come forward. I mean, there's times where, if our union contract says that if you go 6 hours and they don't provide the meal, then there's a meal penalty. And they don't want to pay you that meal penalty. I guarantee you they certainly don't want to pay you a day's wage.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's my biggest fear with AI.
Yes, that's actually, for example, about the show as well. Of course, my channel is not monetized yet. Yeah. For example, the other day, one of my guests here on the show, he sent me a clip of the interview I did with him because he's Spanish and his mom doesn't speak English. And he sent me a clip, that AI can, you know, put the interview in any language. He sent some clips, me speaking Spanish, in three different languages, even in Hindu. When I watched it, I felt so strange because my voice was exactly the same. My mouth was, you know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, that's so scary in a way. But in a way, it could be a good thing because people who doesn't speak English, they can somehow put their own language. But it was
Absolutely.
so strange for me to see me talking in Hindu with the same voice and the same the same like moving. I was like, my God, I had all the feelings. I was excited, I was scared, I was like, my God, what's that? But I was fascinated at the same time as well. But I was like, my God, that's scary. I was scary as well in a way. So back to your question, it's something that I just hope and I wish that people they gonna understand that there is it's a personal thing. It's a genuine personal thing, not just for his watch, but who is on it as well. As you said, people, it's good to see people there working, doing their job or performing their talents, you know what I mean? And I just hope that somehow they will still appreciate that and thing also it's not about the money, it's about the connection, about the physical, if you know what I mean, being there. I think it's so yeah, back to your question. I'm scared, but at the same time I just wish that they're gonna keep, somehow this beauty of watching movies as a real, that we always had this connection with movies. You know what I mean? Just hope.
I hate to see actors not be involved with it, because that's what brings that life and that character and their personality.
Yes, exactly.
You put some fictitious figure in there, it's hard to relate to it.
100%, 100%. It's gonna connect with people, you know what I mean? Because they know that they're not real people there. So why are you gonna watch that? You know what I mean? It's like watching a cartoon or maybe something. So I'm sure they're very clever, you know what I mean? I'm sure hopefully they are clever to know that, you know what I mean? That we need to keep this magical feeling, connection with movies, because that's what people like movies about. That it's about this connection, this magical moments, as a therapy. I call it a therapy because I love it. It's my therapy. I just hope my therapy is gonna carry on forever. Did you enjoy the interview, John?
I did. I have a positive message that
Please,
that I've picked up and procured through life. And I look at it this way. I've come to the conclusion that there's three types of people in life. There's those that make it happen. There's those that want to make it happen. And then there's those that ask, what happened? So you have to ask yourself, which one of those three do you want to be or aspire to be?
I love that. Wow. I think I know which one is me.
I think so too, because you found me and you reached out to me. So I know that you're making things happen.
I love it. Thanks again, John. Thanks for taking the time for the interview. Thanks for being so kind and so sweet. I love your energy. I love the way, your passion. I love to feel your passion, through not just movies, but your life overall, your gratitude. My God, your connection with your mom. I would take that for me, because it's unique. Our mom, it's a connection there that there's with no other person. It's something unique, genuine. And it's so beautiful. In the beginning, we opened the interview, you talk about her, and to see how women, they're very powerful and they make it happen somehow. Once I heard back in Brazil, I was watching this program, and there was a lady, she said, if men could give birth to babies, they would have just one baby. For life, because they would never go to another one again because of the pain, all of that. It's just women, they can do that, you know what I mean? Okay. And she was so right, because I know we are strong but very vulnerable. Men, we are very weak, you know what I mean? Women, they're strong, they know how to do. So I love that when she said that, because it makes all sense. So I appreciate you to be able to talk, to open up a little bit about your mom, and it's beautiful to hear. Thanks again.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks again, you guys, to your wife, to your family and friends, and you keep in touch. It was a pleasure having you on the show. Okay, John. Right. Take care.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye. Take care. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you would like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show, and I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.